Hi, I'm Allison Rose with FlickDirect. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
We're good. How are you?
How are you, Allison?
I'm a little disturbed after watching that movie, I have to say. You did your job and you did it well. Where did this idea come from?
We just want to disturb people.
Yeah, we're just
We want to inflict our psychological misery on other people.
yeah. This is getting too expensive.
So this is cathartic to see other people as complicated and conflicted as we are internally.
Yeah.
We've done our job. No.
Yes.
It was a love letter to the original movie that my dad was in. It was a love letter to sort of making movies, but also the hell of making
A
movies.
poison pen letter to Hollywood.
A poison pen letter to Hollywood, as Mark refers to it as. But it was also, a lot of it's about childhood traumas and irreconcilable differences between children and their parents, and those are themes that have always interested in us because we had perfect upbringings or no problems.
Listen,
So
our parents are really extraordinary people.
They
but,
are.
like we don't have kids yet, and I can't imagine how complicated it is, and how I think growing up, I think, is a lot about realizing just how fragile and human your own parents are. It's like when you graduate out of seeing them as being like, why aren't you perfect? And then you're like, well, nobody's perfect, and wow, you're quite vulnerable even. That's that for us was a big part of the story that I think shone through.
And something I think that absolutely everybody can relate to. One of the things that I talked about with Adam and uh, Riley was the fact that these characters kind of also have other purposes within this film. Like I feel like Adam is we discussed being the devil's minion, and Riley had her own exorcism, or Lee had her own exorcism that she was going through. Was that really purposeful for you when writing this, or was it kind of an outgrowth of just writing this script and kind of sensing these characters?
I think very much it's very much part of the sort of the basis of the movie, and I think you want to have rich characters everywhere, and everyone has a story ideally in the
Yeah.
frame. Anyone that's in that frame, you want to have a story for, so they come alive, they feel complex. I love hearing about Ryan talking about her having her own exorcism, which it is. It was a cathartic journey for
Ryan.
me, right? And I think
Yes.
it is an Adam as well, and I think that Adam's journey is the same thing. I mean, there's even more stuff we would like to do, and maybe in a further director's cut, we would even allow Mike to see even more aspects that we weren't able to put in the original. So
Yeah.
there's layers. There's always layers. You could just keep going forever.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things, Josh, I want to talk to you about, I asked this question recently to Rennie Harlan, was how do you know what to make suspenseful and how do you know what to make a jump scare?
We look, this is a controversial opinion and it is what it is, but I didn't really want to make a conventional horror film. And probably the studio hates me for that, but I wanted to do something that felt like a psychological drama in the way that they were horror films of the 70s, where nothing really happened for like an hour. If you really watch The Exorcist, it's just a family drama for
Yes.
a part. Of course, it takes a very steep curve, turn.
No, not at all.
But also the Shining goes on forever until it really gets sort of into a very more violent place. I wanted to even take that further. We felt that was more interesting. I mean, our interest was to not lean into the tropes, but yet acknowledge them, but kind of to the story. And I think ultimately it's a small chamber piece, psychological chamber piece about these people making a movie and about the hell of trauma and possession being sort of a metaphor for a lot of different things. So I don't think we like try to do those things. We felt it was part of the process, but I think ultimately, I think those scares work when you really are invested in the characters.
Yeah.
If you care about the characters, if you care about the story, then
You'll go anywhere.
you'll go anywhere and anything could potentially be scary.
But at the end of the day, our favorite kinds of scares are like, especially like late in the movie, where you don't know if you're allowed to laugh. You don't know if you should be horrified.
Yeah.
You're a collection of all three, all of it. Really being truly disoriented in a horror movie, I think, is the thing that can really make it insane.
Yeah, you did a phenomenal job. I really enjoyed this film.